Hello and welcome to this guide on editing your images in MailAway. Image editing can sometimes seem like hard work. MailAway is designed to take some of that pain away, and I'm going to show you how to get the most out of your images now. When you log into your account, you will usually see your dashboard with recent drafts and sent campaigns. If you're not familiar with this, I suggest you watch some of the previous videos on creating a campaign, as I'm going to start straight away in the editor screen, as this is where the fun and games occur. You can see here I have a banner placeholder image, and I've inserted some sub-articles, each of which have image placeholders that I will now populate for us to talk about. When it comes to images, online we work in pixels. In layman's terms, these are little dots that make up an image. The more pixels, the bigger the image. A normal email is around 600 pixels wide. So if you try to add an image that is less than 600 pixels to this banner, for example, it will not fill the gap. The image I'm now going to load will do just that. I'm going to edit this image, remove that one, and add a new one. And this one is 249 pixels wide. It's going to load in. This template actually centers the image. However, it may make your email look less attractive, so it's always a good idea to fill the whole size without these white spaces either side. To use software to stretch your image before loading is also unadvisable because of the distortion it creates, and I'll show you this a little later. On the flip side of having images that are too small, if you've grabbed some images from your camera memory card, for example, chances are they're going to be high resolution and the file size will be pretty big to squeeze down into MailAway. The system does compress your images, but it's best to reduce the size before upload if possible, or it will take ages. You can see this one here was actually a really large image that I tried to squeeze into a placeholder, which is only 180 wide. The MailAway system does a certain amount of image editing for you. The general rule is if you try to load an image that's too small for a placeholder, it will not try to stretch it to fit. Equally, it will not try to resize a portrait image to make it landscape, as this would distort the image. I can illustrate this by adding an image to this middle column now. So it's a portrait picture I'm going to add in. Find it. You can see here that the picture is only 100 pixels wide. This is 180, and the MailAway doesn't try to stretch it out to fill this gap here. Equally, it doesn't try to resize the image to fit with any of the other placeholders, so it really doesn't matter what the height is, it's the width that the program goes off of. The only exception to this is a mobile template. If your template is mobile optimized, you will need to add images that are the exact dimensions of the placeholder. This is because the limitations within mobile clients, that means we have to predetermine the image size for mobile viewing. This means that if you did, for example, put a portrait picture into a landscape placeholder, although it will resize to look fine on the desktop, within some mobile clients it will try to squeeze that portrait image into a landscape placeholder. I've got a couple examples here of where it's done that. So this is a screenshot just of what an email would look like. I've put a silly gingerbread picture in the MailAway template. This should be a landscape placeholder, but it's clearly a portrait image I've put in there, and it doesn't distort the image at all within the desktop. But if I go to view it on a phone, you can see it's stretched the image out. This is what it would look like on the iPhone. It's stretched the image out to fill the landscape placeholder, obviously distorting the picture and making it look quite ugly. We will let you know what size images need to be by labeling your template accordingly if you do have a mobile optimized version. So how do you go about resizing images? Well, you can usually choose to resize or to crop an image. MailAway have an image editor on our website, which is just mail-away.co.uk/image editor. So in here I can show you how to change the size and to crop an image. So first I've got a picture here of some fish loaded in. This is a massive image. The original image is over here on the right hand side, and it's 3,395 pixels wide. If I was going to add that to an email template, it needs to be a maximum of 600 wide. So imagine trying to squidge 3,300 into a placeholder that's only 600 pixels. It's going to take a lot of crunching. So I'm going to reduce it down in size. And all I'm going to do that is down under here here, I'm going to put in the size of width that I want and go apply changes. It'll take a few seconds to do that, and then it's got the size that the new email is going to be. I can now choose to crop the image if I wanted to, so I'm going to make that a little bit thinner because that's quite deep for a banner image, so I can choose to crop it. So up here I can choose the exact dimensions I want if I wanted to, so if I want it 600 by say 200, and then I can move this around to pick exactly the spot that I want to crop by, or I can use a freeform tool, whichever I choose, and it will tell me the exact size of the email up here. If you have a mobile optimized template, I suggest you put in the exact sizes that you want it to be up here. Equally, if you have column text, then it's a good idea, column images even, and it's a good idea to make sure they're all the same size. So on this one I'm going to do it 600 by 150, and I'm going to apply those changes. And that's my new image, which I think is a reasonable size for a banner image. I would then just download that picture, save it to my desktop, and then upload it in the MailAway system as my banner picture. So say next I want to add another picture, and this time I want to crop it to make it a particular size. So I'm going to upload a new picture, which is this one of me and Jessica, which is 429 pixels wide. Upload that, and I'm going to change this so as it's 180 square. Let's imagine, for example, that we're going to put 3 images in here and we want them all the same size, instead of them being all different sizes like they are on here. So I'd go in, you can see it's quite a large image at the moment. I can choose first of all to change the height to 180, apply the changes. Moves it down. Next I'm going to crop it to bring it in to be the right width as well. So change this to 180 by 180. If I chose to resize instead of to crop in, what that would do is actually distort the image a little and make Jess and I tall and skinny rather than keeping us the right size. You can get away with that to an extent a little bit, but it's better to crop if you can. So you can see here I can move this around and choose to just chop off our shoulders and then apply the changes. I know then that that's going to be the right size to fit into my placeholder, and if I had 2 other images to load in, then I could do exactly the same thing with them. Again, all I would do is download the image when I was happy, save it to my desktop, upload it into MailAway. If I wasn't happy with the changes I made, I could just start over again. It would be absolutely fine. The best thing you can do with this is go in and have a little play. Like I say, it's on the website, just image editor, and it's simple to do. Just as the final example, I'm going to go back into the email that I'm creating. When it comes to image editing, it's much better to start with a larger image and reduce it, and then a smaller one and try to stretch it. I'm just going to add a picture to this banner now, which I've actually started life as a 200 pixel wide, so only a percentage of this entire width. And what I've done is use the editor to stretch it out to make it 600 wide. What that's done is, when it comes up, stretch the whole picture out and made us look really very fuzzy and pixelated and a little bit distorted as well. So this is exactly what MailAway tries to avoid through not doing the distortion down here with the likes of this image. So that's about it. The general rule of thumb is try not to distort pictures, use the image editor, crop where you can, and resize as well. And generally we will not try to stretch or resize images to fit placeholders, and you should have tried to avoid doing that as well. The best thing you can do is go in and have a play, and we will do what we can to make image editing easy for you as well. Thank you very much.